have our newly elected DA, yes, Jason Williams.
This year, this summer, it is time for everybody in this city, whether you are 17 or 70, whether you are 15 or 50, it is time for you to choose a side. It is time for you to choose a side before gunshots happen. It is time for you to choose a side when you saw who fired the bullet. Silence is not an option. When you choose silence, you choose the side of the person that took a life. It is time for the city of New Orleans to remove the term snitch from its lexicon, because you are letting a few control our entire city. Most of our young people are doing everything we expect and want from them. Most of the adults in our community are working hard every day just to get by. There are a finite number of folks who want to wreak havoc on this community. And when you stay silent, when you don't cooperate, when you don't participate in making your community safe, you choose the side of the person holding the gun, not the person on the other side.
Newly elected district attorney in New Orleans. He don't sound like he gonna be easy on crime. He don't sound woke. I'm gonna give a brother the benefit of the doubt. We gonna give this brother the benefit of the doubt. You know, we stay on these politicians, especially these politicians of the sun. Nobody covers it like we do. Make sure you hit the like button. Hope you like the green screen behind me. I'm at my boy's studio. I'm looking at this. I'm like, I'm gonna have to give me a new studio. I'm gonna have to give me a studio. Make sure you hit that PayPal, hit that Cash App, hit that Super Chat. But yeah, I'm gonna give this brother the benefit of the doubt. I am. I promise you, I'm gonna give this brother down in New Orleans the benefit of the doubt. This was the other day. It's a couple of days ago. They knew the weekend was coming. They know the summer's coming. It's getting hot. Violence is ramping up. They're doing everything they can. Salute to them.
In making your community safe, you choose the side of the person holding the gun, not the person on the other side. Let that sink in. I need your help. The chief needs your help. This young man right here. Come up here, young man. Yes, please. This young man right here who came out in the rain with this sign that he made, this young king, needs your help. He shouldn't have to live like this. You shouldn't be able to ride your bike around your community the same way I did. He can't do that. He can't do that because we have all made a collective choice in this town to be quiet.
Just let that sink in. Nobody said, no, that's not true. He can't so. No. This little boy cannot safely ride his bicycle around his neighborhood. He might get shot. Think about that. And this is everywhere. This is everywhere people of the sun live. Wow. And it's just like no women are crying. Like, I can't believe this. No brothers is like, I mean, you hear this, and I get it. I make these videos all the time, every day, if you remember this channel, but for all we talk about Karens and how they always asking for the manager, for all we talk about Karens and how they always asking for the manager, they would not allow this in their community. And you know why? how I can prove that? Because it don't happen in their community. I've been asking for years. Send me the footage. Send me the article. Send me something of a white neighborhood where the kids can't ride around the corner on their bikes without getting shot by stray bullets. And you guys haven't. So your silence. You guys are speaking with your silence.
This young man right here who came out in the rain with this sign that he made, this young king, needs your help. He shouldn't have to live like this. You should be able to ride your bike around your community the same way I did. He can't do that. He can't do that because we have all made a collective choice in this town to be quiet when it is time to stand up. Everybody's got to choose a side. Choose a side that protects King. Choose a side that protects our other children so they can grow up and they can prosper. Our city is beautiful and small, which means the number of cases that we have to solve, the number of people we have to wrap our hands around, is finite. We can handle it. We can do this. We're not like Chicago and LA. We can do this. But we need everybody in the game. I need everybody in the game. King needs everybody in the game. King, will you tell him to choose a side?
Choose a side.
Yeah, you're right.
Shooting in New Orleans East. The NOPD says 8 people were sent to the hospital overnight. It happened on the I-10 South Service Road near Reed Boulevard. Mike McDaniel is live for us on the scene right now. Mike, what can you tell us about this shooting?
Well, hey there, Paul. Well, a miracle out of all this when you think about 8 people who were shot. No one has died, although we are told one woman is in critical condition after she was shot in the face.
Of course, it's the sister that's in critical condition. God, Joe. All that marching ain't get you nothing.
Although we are told one woman is in critical condition after she was shot in the face. The other 7 are currently in stable condition. Now, of the 8, only 2 had to be taken to the hospital by emergency medical crews. The other 6 were able to make it on their own. Now, we believe all of this happened early this morning right here along the I-10 Service Road in New Orleans East near Reed Boulevard. And the address that police say this happened at is this Best Western Hotel, which is currently closed. And the only evidence that we really see anything happen is a little piece of police tape that's still out here from the scene. Now, we don't have a lot of details from police, so we have no idea what may have been going on in this parking lot to cause this shooting. Now, next door to the Best Western, there is another abandoned property on the other side. There is an auto parts store, so there's not a lot of activity as far as businesses go out here, especially any late night businesses. So again, 8 people shot. We don't have a lot of information from police right now. We do know that one woman is in critical condition after being shot in the face. The other 7 are listed in stable condition right now. This Best Western closed. There's a sign on the door that says closed until further notice. We don't know why this hotel may have been closed or how long it has been closed, or what that's about, or what actually may have been going on in this parking lot. So right now, 8 people shot in New Orleans East. We know that it happened sometime, we believe, early this morning when the news releases went out, and we're just waiting to get more information from police. Paul.
All right, Mike McDaniel, thank you so much. The NOPD is also investigating 2 separate shootings.
To that breaking news out of Southwest Miami-Dade, that's where detectives are investigating yet another deadly mass shooting.
And Local 10's Madeline Wright has been at the scene all morning long. She joins us live with new information just released from police. Madeline.
Good morning, Sanella. Andrew. It was an event to celebrate academic achievement, but it ended in tragedy. 3 people, including a corrections officer, were killed and 6 other people were injured as they were leaving a graduation party right here in this strip mall. As you can see, yellow crime scene tape is up, and police have placed evidence markers on the ground as they work to track down the killers. The mass shooting happened in a strip mall near the intersection of Southwest 104th Street and Southwest 109th Court in the Kendall area of Southwest Miami-Dade. Police say as people were leaving the party, 2 vehicles pulled up and someone inside started shooting at the crowd. 2 men fleeing the shooting crashed into a wall wall across the street at Miami-Dade College's Kendall campus and were both pronounced dead on the scene. A Florida corrections officer was pronounced dead after she drove herself to Jackson South Hospital. 6 other people who survived the shooting also drove themselves to the hospital, and they were listed in stable condition. I talked to one woman at the scene who says the car that crashed into the wall belongs to her sister's son.
That's it. I'm just concerned more about her, you know, and pray that that's not my nephew in that car.
Wow. Do any people from other groups, let me talk to y'all. People of the Sun, sit this one out. I want to talk to people from other groups. These are not like dice games in the alley. This isn't like gangs meet up, you know, under the overpass down by the river to settle a score. These are graduation parties. Do y'all find that odd that so many graduation parties? We had the one in New Jersey a few weeks ago where the college students got home for the summer, got shot up. I forgot it was Bridgeton or whatever it was, New Jersey. Then we had one, well, the girl, she was killed, Kennedy, she was killed after on her way to the graduation party. Then we had another one, graduation party where a bunch of people was killed. This is not like the dregs of people of the Sun. This is like people of the Sun's finest. And thugs are coming and just spraying the crowd. How many of you guys from these other groups are waiting for a huge movement rivaling BLM to emerge about this?
I talked to one woman at the scene who says the car that crashed into the wall belongs to her sister's son.
That's it. I'm just concerned more about her, you know, and pray that that's not my nephew in that car.
This violence has to stop. This is extremely frustrating. Every weekend is the same thing, and we just got to band together.
Back live at the scene, this comes just 1 week after the shooting at El Mula Banquet Hall. Police said that there's no connection between the mass shooting there and the one that happened here. In this case, police are searching for 2 vehicles, a dark Chevrolet Malibu and a white Toyota Camry. If you have any information on the whereabouts of those vehicles, give detectives a call. Follow me for updates on the investigation on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at MWrightWPLG. Live in Southwest Miami-Dade, Madeline Wright, Local 10 News.
And we have live team coverage on this deadly mass shooting.
Local 10's Parker Branson has an update from a hospital where the victims were taken to in Southwest Miami-Dade. Parker.
SNL, good morning. We are live at Jackson South, where some of those people who were shot drove themselves to the hospital. I want you to take a live look right now. Obviously, some family members very upset out here, shouting out in just mourning right now, finding out that this corrections officer that was here at Jackson South ended up losing her life. That car you see loaded up on that tow truck, that is the vehicle that was being taken here, that corrections officer was in.
Man, the human toll, man. These are real people, man. These are real people. Finding out that their loved one has been killed at a graduation party. Not she was a streetwalker for a dozen years and finally some psycho she picked her up and they found her in a... Not she was in a gang and they been shooting back and forth with another gang for years and finally it caught up to her. No, she went to a graduation party. And she didn't lose her life. Her life was stolen from her. And they got to come up here and see that and hear that. And the reality starts to set in. And this takes place all day, every day. You should have seen the crime blotter from D.C. today. Just today. How many shootings there were, how many murders there were in D.C. today. There's 17,000 985 police departments in this country. Miami-Dade is just one. All day long this is happening. And real people, the other people, the people left behind, the loved ones. It's almost like they don't exist. They won't get a visit to the White House. The mayor won't call them and apologize.
Morning right now, finding out that this corrections officer that was here at Jackson South ended up losing her life. That car you see loaded up on that tow truck, that is the vehicle that was being taken here that corrections officer was in. I am told that she was one of at least 3 in that car. That is what family members are telling me, that she was driven here by a man to Jackson South, where she would ultimately lose her life. I'm told 2 other women possibly are still being treated in the hospital that were shot here this morning. I got to talk with some family members of that corrections officer. They tell me that she was in her early 20s. This is obviously a very difficult situation for them right now. They are very upset, as you just saw them come outside of the emergency room doors, screaming out in tears, obviously mourning the loss this morning. Now, there's a lot of family and friends gathering out here. As you can see, that white car has bullet holes in it. It is on the back of a tow truck right now. It is about to be towed away, but the emergency room entrance and exit, that has been a crime scene for much of the morning, and we are going to stay out here and continue to gather details on any of those victims that are still alive here at the hospital. Again, a Florida corrections officer losing her life at Jackson South this morning. We are told she is one of a couple that drove themselves to the hospital in their own personal vehicle. So, of course, we are working to learn more about this situation. But for now, we are live in Southwest Miami-Dade. I'm Parker Branton, Local 10 News.
Search for the shooters continues. Relatives are anxiously awaiting to find out how their loved ones are doing.
One family receiving devastating news during a live press conference on air. Local 10's Terrell Forney picks up that part of our team coverage. Terrell.
It was quite the scene here at Jackson South Hospital. In fact, the ER was turned into a crime scene for a very short period of time because so many of those shooting victims were arriving by car. The white car, surrounded by crime scene tape with blood staining the side, rolled into the emergency room minutes after the mass shooting. Some victims drove themselves to the hospital after being shot, but nurses and doctors could not save Tylisha Taylor, who worked at the Dade Correctional Institution in Homestead as a corrections officer. Today, the secretary of that agency released a statement saying, in part, "We are devastated to learn a member of our Florida Department of Corrections family, Officer Taylor, was killed in a fatal shooting. Our prayers are with her family as they navigate this unimaginable loss." Taylor was off duty attending the graduation party at the Hookah Lounge in Kendall, where she was hit by bullets.
Wow. Young sister, she was on the other side of the law. She was a corrections officer. It's the second correction officer to get killed down there in the last couple. Female correction officer, remember? No, that was a TSA agent. Never mind, scratch that. The other woman, the girl who got killed a couple of weeks ago, was a TSA agent. Black girl got killed in front of her child. She was a TSA agent. This one's a correction officer. The girl I did the other day, the story on, she just graduated from school, from high school, young entrepreneur. The one I did the video on, it's in San Antonio. She went to Texas Southern. Starting to notice a trend here. These thugs are taking our best and brightest future wives. These are somebody this is somebody's wife. This is a brother. It's a brother that's gonna go through his 20s and 30s looking for his wife, and that was his wife. That was the woman that God put here for him. And because she went to a graduation party at a hookah lounge, and some thugs came through and shot up the crowd. Just shot anybody. It's going to be some brother that's just going to be out here single in a mug, just throw his 20s like, man, you still single? Man, you need to settle down. And that was his wife right there.
Taylor was off duty attending the graduation party at the Hookah Lounge in Kendall, where she was hit by bullets. The family of William Everett also showed up to the crime scene, fearing the worst.
He's just a humble, sweet kid. You know, always have been. It's like, that's my baby, you know? That's my baby.
Later in the day, a different relative confirming to Local 10, Everett, a father of a 3-year-old boy, was fatally struck inside of the bullet-riddled car that crashed. Also killed his 18-year-old cousin, say relatives, who goes by the name Keen.
Wow. Whew. I'm telling you, Jack. Whew. These stories, man. Woo. These stories, man. That dude looked just like my little brother, man. I wish I could show you a picture of my little brother. He looked just like. Woo. These stories, man. Woo. And this is the drop in the bucket. I'm trying to tell you. This is a drop in the bucket from the weekend. This is not, oh, there was a shooting in New Orleans and there was shooting in Miami. All right, in the story. No. This is a drop in the bucket of all the mass shootings that happened in Blackistan this weekend. This just I guess I wouldn't say the two big ones. There was one in Chicago. 8 people were shot, and I did a video on that just by itself because that was just. This is a drop in the bucket.
Emotions were high outside of the Ryder Trauma Center at Jackson South Hospital, where family members gathered for updates from doctors about the injured. Our cameras were rolling as one of the 5 injured shooting victims was released from the hospital with what is said to be minor injuries. This latest mass shooting underscores a growing problem of gun violence being felt across South Florida.
Without a question, gun violence is up. This is not about a district thing or
Keon McGee, Miami-Dade commissioner. It's not gun violence. It's person violence. In this case, as in probably 80% of the cases in this country, Blackistanian person violence. Okay? The gun is not doing anything. There are so many white towns where their people are poorer than the people in Miami-Dade, poorer than the people. Some of them brothers and cousins and brothers, and they got guns and they don't have any murders in their town for a year or two, and then they have one, and then it's not another one for another year.
Without a question, gun violence is up. This is not about a district thing or a county thing. This is an entire country problem that we're starting to see raise its ugly head.
And Commissioner McGee does not represent the district where the shooting occurred, but he is part of the team tasked with coming up with solutions to help curb this growing problem of gun violence. As for the shooting survivors who were rushed here to the hospital, we do not yet know all of their conditions. So stay tuned. Reporting live from Southwest Miami-Dade, I'm Terrell Forney, Local 10.
Today, police in Muskegon County are investigating a deadly shooting that happened last night. Fruitport Township police tell us they were first called a little after 11 last night for a shooting at the Quality Inn and Suites on East Sherman Boulevard. 3 people were hurt. 1 person was pronounced dead on scene. Police would not say if anyone is in custody. We will bring you updates with any new information on air and online at woodtv.com.
Fruitport, whatever the hell that place is called. Michigan. So you already know who did that. But 4 was shot at a Southside Park party. And this is Arkansas. Arkansas. So this ain't going to get no national news. Rinky-dink little Arkansas, says the mainstream news media. 4 shot Wednesday at a Southside party. 1 man in custody. Arkansas. How many of you ever heard of Southside Park? You ever heard a rapper say, man, I'm from Southside Park? These little towns, I tell you, it's 17,985 police departments in this country. Southside Park is one. Fruitport or whatever the other city I just showed you, that's one. All these little towns deal with this Blackistanian gun violence, person violence on a daily basis. And only 14 black men unarmed, fighting like hell, being uncooperative as a mug, kicking and screaming and reaching and grabbing and tussling and punching. Only 14 of them get killed all year in the entire country. And look at what the police deal with. Everywhere. In every little town. When you're driving down the highway and you see all the exits and you see all these towns, I like reading the names of towns when I'm riding on the highway. Just think about it. In that town, this nigga running around shooting people, sneaking up on people at graduation parties and just spraying the crowd.
Mass shooting outside of a banquet hall claiming the life of a third victim. 32-year-old Shaniqua Peterson died today from her injuries after she was shot in the head. Another grieving family tonight begging the community for help to bring the killers to justice.
And local leaders are vowing to crack down on crime. Local 10's Leah Morajona is live in Northwest Miami-Dade with new information in the investigation. Leanne.
Peterson was in the hospital for several days with a bullet still lodged in her head. Her family telling Local 10 tonight that she passed away shortly after 3 p.m. this afternoon. Her aunt telling our local, Arturo Forney, I should say, by phone, quote, our family wants the gun violence to end and for these predators to be caught. This shooting has shaken the family to its core.
So this woman, she held on. She held on for a few days. This is the same shooting where the dad of one of the victims crashed the press conference and it said burn in hell, and this was where the 25 people were shot, 2 were killed, now 3, so a third one was killed. And salute to the EMTs and the cops, you know, show up and give these people, these bloodied black people, I mean, with these wounds from assault rifles that are just massive, crazy wounds, arms half blown off, guts hanging out. They give these people first aid. Don't know these people from a can of paint. Don't know their medical history. Don't know what their blood work looks like. And these cops and these EMTs show up and give these people CPR, put pressure on their wounds, bandage them up, try to save them as much as they can until they get to the hospital. And that's probably one reason why this young lady was able to hold on for a few more days. But again, all that marching and all that wokeness won't get you sisters nothing but a bullet in your head.
A mother sobs over the loss of her son, 26-year-old Desmond Owens.
Our family is experiencing this deep sense of loss right now.
Owens was one of 23 people shot early Sunday when a crowd outside El Mula Banquet Hall was sprayed with bullets. 26-year-old Clayton Dillard III was also killed.
No parent should have to bury a child.
Late Thursday, we learned 32-year-old Shaniqua Peterson died after several days in the hospital. Some of the 20 other victims are still trying to recover.
No
Snitching leads to no conviction. So we need y'all to open up your mouth.
So far, tips to police have failed to result in any arrests. Detectives now examining new angles of the crime from surveillance video, looking to see whether other additional shots came from a dark-colored vehicle seen in the background of this angle. Might they be additional shooters or firing in self-defense?
I've never had to mobilize the entire county. Our other crime initiatives were always for a specific area that was experiencing a trend.
Miami-Dade's police director, along with the mayor and other leaders, gathered to announce Operation Summer Heat, a unique county-wide initiative to combat gun violence throughout Miami-Dade.
Then you have the social media component that a lot of these things are manifesting themselves in that room where before you didn't have to deal with that.
Local leaders calling this unprecedented, I should say, in part because of the sheer scope of this effort. More information on that is on our website, local10.com. Another key component is, of course, relationships with the community that yield those tips. They still need them. If you have any information, call Miami-Dade Police or Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers. The number is 305-471-TIPS. Reporting in Northwest Miami-Dade, I'm Leanne Morejon, Local 10 News.
Can't say it enough. If you saw something, say something.